Hello, I'm Tony Gow and I'm in the Players' Lounge with the one and only Trevor Brooking. And just going to ask a few questions because I'll only have to ask a few because he won't stop going on about it, I tell you. But it's about Trevor's wonderful playing career. One of the few people who's a one-club man, Trevor, at West Ham United. Trevor, it all started, what year at West Ham? What year did you make your debut?
Well, I joined the club as an apprentice at 65. Did a 2-year apprenticeship as such, which was an exciting time to be fair, because 64 won the FA Cup and then 65 won the Captain's Cup.
Just to explain to people, I mean, you talked about the atmosphere, but the atmosphere, particularly evening games at West Ham, I mean, I used to watch them on the telly, like grey balmy nights, little bit of drizzle in the air, tightly strung nets at the back of the goal, little bit of fizz over the surface. A great atmosphere.
Oh, it's fabulous. The Eintracht Frankfurt, everybody had talked to you about the Eintracht Frankfurt, the semi-final. They were a very good side. They hadn't been beaten at home or away. They beat us 2-1 out there, I think. And we beat them 3-1 at home. And I think lots of people say that was probably the greatest night.
Interestingly, 71 tests, no ODIs, which is quite extraordinary. And I think I read somewhere you hold the record.
I do. Yeah, it's a
record for. Explain that record.
One of those quiz questions that comes up. Yeah, the most test caps without having played a one-day international. And you know, I at the time it didn't really concern me. I wasn't that bothered. But I guess towards the sort of back end of my career, I was kind of thinking, well, just about everybody I know has played a one-day international, at least one. But it never happened. And you know, it's a nice little quirk, I suppose. But it would have been nice to have perhaps been given the opportunity to play in that form of cricket, because I don't think I was a slouch as a batsman.
You get 4 wickets in your first innings, I think against New Zealand, wasn't it?
Against New Zealand.
And you scored 65 as well. And you were immediately dubbed by people like me in the media as, the new Botham. We found the new Botham. So it was a hell of a debut, but immediately a hell of a reputation that you built up and had to sort of carry it on. And everybody thought you were going to be a great all-rounder. The batting, it's fair to say, probably didn't meet the bowling. Did you see yourself as an all-rounder?
No, never did. I think realistically, if you look at the stats and when I first started for Yorkshire, let's go that far back. So when I made my debut, I was in number 11 for Yorkshire. Arnie Sidebomb says one of the worst batsmen I'd seen. So I batted at 11. That was in '89.
Throughout many of those years at Arsenal, I mean, you were part of 2 or 3 great teams, weren't you, with global superstars, and sometimes you and others were slightly overshadowed by whether it was the Ian Wrights or the Henrys or the Bergkamps or the Vieiras.
Yeah, I didn't mind that at all. I mean, the most important thing for me was Arsene Wenger. You know, he used to say to me, if you play well, son, you'll be playing next week. And as a player, that's all you need to hear.
Can I just say briefly?
Yes.
You know, we were talking earlier about 82.
Yes.
One of the highlights ever was my birthday, 15th of June 82, kicking off with King Kenny Dalglish for Scotland. That, for me, I'll never forget, because he was my hero.
Excellent. All right, well, I'm now going to award you with something that you richly deserve, which is an honour cap to highlight, really, what a fantastic career you've had. Congratulations, Alan. It's been great talking to you.
Ian, thank you.
Well done.
Lovely. Thank you very much.